I'll begin by saying that, forgive me, I'm not the most charismatic public speaker ever. In fact, I outright disdain public presentations. So much so that just a couple of days ago, Saturday night, I was reading to my son Peyton, and we're going through, the daily night routine, and he could tell that something was on my mind. He picked up on sort of the nuance of my behavior and said, "Hey, you doing okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing fine." About 15 seconds later, I decided not to lie to him. I was like, "Man, my mind's kind of drifting a little bit here because I'm thinking I got to go to Utah on Monday night and talk to a bunch of folks about I don't even know what yet." And he thought for a minute. He goes, "Well, I can understand what you're saying. When I stand in front of my second grade class, I get pretty nervous too, Dad." And then he proceeded to give me the best advice I've heard from anybody in advance of coming out here and doing the presentation like this. He said, "What you got to do," this really sincere, this came from my son, unsolicited. He said, "You got to focus on what you have to get done and what you have to say, and not let all those faces that are staring back at you get you nervous. Don't think about that bad thing. Stay focused." And that's what I'm trying to do right now. But that's 6 years after we went to his 2-year well baby check, and we were stationed in Las Vegas at the time at Nellis, and the proverbial standard doctor in the white lab coat in a very cold and callous way. And our 2-year well baby check said that your son is got a severe neurological disorder that's not curable. He's never going to be able to understand and appreciate the social nuances that people need. He's not going to understand body language. He's not going to understand sarcasm. He may not even really understand humor. He may not even talk. And that's what she left us with. So we walked out of that hospital with a piece of paper that said pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, and didn't know where to go from there. And then we tried to call her back. She never did. So anyway, the kid that wasn't supposed to be able to recognize social nuance and behavior and pick up on body signals, 6 years later did, and provided me the best advice again that I got in advance of this thing. And which I appreciate that. What's most insightful, I think, and most revealing for me is what he said. He said, "You got to stay focused and not think about all the other things that are happening basically on the periphery." And I think that reveals a lot of what ABA has done for him. When it all begins, I was very skeptical. We've got this person coming in my house, and it looks like they're basically a glorified babysitter, sitting there, touch your nose, here's a ball, what's the difference between red and blue, that sort of stuff. I'm like, yeah, it'd be great to hire for a birthday party, but I'm not entirely sure that this is what we're looking for. So I was definitely skeptical. I asked some pointed questions for sure to Sarah, and as I dug deeper, I was very impressed and humbled by the level of detail, the objectivity, the metrics, and everything that happens to the left and right of that therapy session, how much work goes into it was remarkable to me. And 6 years later, my son's doing extraordinarily well. Is he cured? Absolutely not. There's no such thing, right? He's definitely still got some behaviors. He stems quite a bit, but to his own words, like school and things like that, when he's got to get something done, he can stay focused and not allow the peripheral issues to undermine what he's trying to get done. I think ABA did that for him.